So one of our requests for this afternoon was to reflect a little bit on the 250th anniversary of the revolution. And to think a little bit about the unfinished work of equality and justice. And one of our participants asks, how can we commemorate the Revolutionary War in a way that is honest about the nation's founding contradictions without diminishing its aspirations? I wonder if you have thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, has this country fulfilled its aspirations?
No.
So there's your answer. I mean, you know, you have to, I can't, you know, it's kind of like a family, you know? You can't just talk about the good stuff your family does. Families are complicated and messy, you know? And so you have to acknowledge all of that. You can talk about the awards and the accolades and all that, but you have to talk about the parts that aren't as easy. And this country is notoriously bad at that. You can't celebrate those 250 years without talking about what else was happening. So you want to celebrate your independence and all that. Well, gee, there was a whole lot of people who weren't independent and now weren't there. What are you going to do about that? Where do they fit into that story? And so this country has to come to terms with all of what it is, otherwise nothing else matters. And we're seeing, obviously more than ever, this absolute erasure of everything. You know, it's people of color, it's women, it's queer people. It's like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. So what are you celebrating? If you can only celebrate the good parts, then you aren't really celebrating your country at all. Then you're more embarrassed about your country than anything else. So deal with it. You know, you have to talk about all of it. You know, you're not diminishing. You know, I'm all for American achievement. I'm all for what has been accomplished in this country. But let's not forget how it got accomplished and who was accomplishing it. And, you know, when you talk about things like, you know, the wealth of this country, well, if you have 246 years of free labor, it's really easy to get wealthy.
Yeah.
And if you had free labor, where was that coming from? Who was doing it? And again, how do they fit in to this bigger story? Now, the problem with this 250th anniversary is it's being celebrated in this administration. So it's going to be a mess. We know that, right? Because it's really already wiping out anything that isn't sort of deifying, you know, America, which really is deifying straight white men. That's what we're looking at. That's what this is about, right? So you have to talk about it all. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's all of it, because you can actually have this kind of, you know, pain and glory moment together. You know, we were here, but we came out of slavery, right? And yes, then we had Jim Crow for the next 50 years and we didn't get anything right. But you have to talk about it. Otherwise, I feel like everything else is just hollow. And I don't feel any great, I don't feel really good about the 250. You know, and I'm not really big. I can, you know, I remember the bicentennial and how weird I thought that was when I was a kid. I was like 14 or something. I just thought, who cares? You know, but I feel actually sort of bad about it now, because it's going to be so flawed and it's going to cut out so much of American history and what's happened and how we got to that point and all of it. It's just, it's going to be this weird Trumpian thing.